2020 brings with it high doses of love and pure radiance. And in this year, what we will see is that many light workers who have already been uncovering their missions or even on the path of delivering their missions will be finding themselves almost as if plugged into a socket really steadfastly, so that the connections that are going all the way across the globe are actually lit up by Source and Gaia itself, for that light to then come through and then shine as it would outside of a globe for each one of these individuals, and consequently mapping out places and spaces all across the globe energetically. Mother Earth is calling in more light, more healing. And it is not to say that Earth is not capable of her own healing. Truth be known, she has the ability to expunge all of humanity, even herself, in any given moment, should she desire. And I say this on an energetic level, with the own consciousness that Earth itself contains. However, what we are seeing instead, though, we are really being given an invitation to drop into the truth of who we are, to emanate more love, more light, more acceptance, more inclusion of one another. And with this, what we will see is a big shift across the globe. When we step into this as individuals, it is in fact impossible for us not to step into more responsibility, again as an individual, in the way that we are living within our environment. And so this journey of what we call evolution, of self-discovery, of coming into alignment with our higher selves, which ultimately means stepping into the best version of ourselves, which is constantly going to be improved upon anyway. But whilst we are on that path, we will naturally feel inclined to behave in a way that assimilates much more lovingly, much more care to the universe itself, let alone our immediate universe, which is Earth, Mother Nature. So there are going to be some big shifts coming in, and we can see these already happening now. We can see even by some of the natural disasters that continue to occur around the world, that always have occurred around the globe, but we can see that in some senses some of them are coming in thicker and faster, so to speak, more powerful, as a message to, hey, wake up humans, get in line and let's sort yourselves out. And that's really what this is. However, there are a vast number of us who have already been shuffling and starting to line up, and not in the sense that we're an army, and not in the sense that we need to all be the same. This is not what it is about at all. In fact, it is our uniqueness that allows us to contribute the very significant and specific gifts and contributions that each of us are going to have in the world, in whatever way that actually manifests. So more what it is saying, though, is that we will each as individuals come to alignment with ourselves, with the better versions of ourselves that we continue to adopt and continue to discover. And with this, more peace does arrive. There is the darker forces that some like to label in any number of terms, that wishes to loom above us. And yet every single time that we all stand together and focus on the light, this particular dark form does not have the capacity or the capability to actually destroy the light. And this is where the path ahead lies. It is akin to the Renaissance. It was the Italians that were starting to understand that we needed to bring more light, that we needed to illuminate the way that we were learning, the way that we were teaching, and affected art, culture and everything else. It is akin to this. We are already illuminating and illuminated, and continue to share this. And so what is happening is this is spreading. because it is also part of humanity's evolution. It is part of our evolutionary process. And so while some may pay attention, or a lot of attention even, to what I'm again going to call the darker energies, the let's call it the backlash of that which isn't ready to evolve yet, the best thing that you could possibly do in 2020, as of now even, is to hold space and envisage any limitations that you see in society's constructs, in our reality. Hold space, send this and those people love and light. It is not an us and them scenario. The shadows that they present reflect the shadows within, the parts of ourselves that we are pushing through, or I'd rather say flowing through, to become a more expansive version of ourselves. Allow this to dissipate, rather than putting everything that you consider is different to you or contrasting to your beliefs in the same bucket and seeing it as this looming large entity, even enemy. See it for the small components that it is. Okay, this particular government could be more awake. This particular corporation could be more conscious. This particular group of friends, I am holding space for them to find their own personal evolution, to evolve. However it is that it sees, see those as the separate smaller pieces. Don't bunch them all together. For when we do this, one, we allow more energy in and around each and every item or person that you consider is in contrast to you. You also remember that they are on their own timeline of evolution. So send them love and light. If anything, uphold a vision of the future for them. An inclusive, coming back to the word inclusive, vision of how they will also step into their own light. They will step into their own awakening. They will experience the 5D heart in the way that many of us already have been this year, for some perhaps earlier. So this is a time of really understanding that there is much that is shifting, only to help us ascend further and further. And for any of you out there undertaking your light missions, and I'm going to call this your soul purpose, your dream ambition, the thing that really drives you to feel alive, that causes you to feel passionate and excited even in your day-to-day, know that this is really a time to lock this in. It's like screwing yourself as a light bulb into the grid of light all the way across the globe. Be ready to become more stable in this, and know that even if last year felt a little bit wiggly, a little bit wonky, that you perhaps didn't have the foundations you were aspiring to yet, that it is coming now in 2020. There is a lot of growth. There are a lot of foundations being cemented, and cemented insofar as we could ever expect, knowing that energy is always shifting. Wishing you much love and light for 2020. May the light shine on all of your dreams. May you find the steadfastness that you have been seeking, and may you continue to be guided to also still be flexible and as expansive as ever in working with the light, ultimately the truth of who you are.